is where MAGA comes to talk. Okay, we got a shock during President Trump's NRA speech last night because I know, like you guys, I was watching it on RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting, and Brian Glenn, who's been with Right Side Broadcasting since the beginning, has basically been running it all these years and gave it the personality that it has, announced live during the broadcast yesterday that he is quitting, well, has quit Right Side Broadcasting. In fact, he said it was very shocking that yesterday at the NRA convention would be his last broadcast with Right Side Broadcasting. And, you know, and I want to ask you guys, you can let me know in the live chat if you're watching live, or in the comments if you're not watching live, do you think it's just a coincidence this happened a couple days after that big blow up in that congressional hearing with the great Marjorie Taylor Greene and those liberal squadettes, AOC and Jasmine Crockett? Maybe it's just a coincidence, I don't know. But I'm going to play the announcement that Brian Glenn made in just a moment. Pretty shocking announcement. And he says something at the end that has me asking some questions about the future of Right Side Broadcasting. And Right Side Broadcasting is one of the most important resources that President Trump and the MAGA movement have. If it wasn't for Right Side Broadcasting, we would not see 98, 99% of Trump's speeches because they're the ones who have carried them all. No matter what the event is, if Trump's speaking, they're there. And the media, for years, have had a complete blackout on Trump speeches. Even still today that he's the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party, the mainstream media don't carry Trump speeches all that much. And Right Side Broadcasting has really become part of our lives in the MAGA movement, hasn't it? So let me play. This is Brian Glenn's announcement. This was out of the blue. I mean, completely out of the blue. No one was expecting this. And you had to be watching early because this was before President Trump came out.
I want to take a few minutes before we get started today and make a serious announcement. Many of you have been with this network from day one and follow the journey of Right Side. But today, here in Dallas at NRA, is my last day on air with RSBN. And I've got to say, it has been an amazing nearly 4 years of covering some of the most historic political events in our history. Now, from the very beginning, you guys believed in this little network that basically just went around and tried to cover as many rallies as they could. If I'm not mistaken, they covered just about every one of them. But it wasn't for the generosity of our viewers and our supporters. I know it means a lot. And this job is not easy. It comes with a lot of scrutiny. As you can imagine, it comes with a lot of criticism. Not only do people don't like us because we're a conservative news outlet, but then they have other reasons why they don't like you as well. But the positive feedback we get from you, the positive feedback we get in the comment sections does not go unnoticed, and we are very grateful for that. And that's been my personal goal, is I want you to know what's going on. And I can't tell how many people just in the last hour have come up to me off the media riser here and have said, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Thank you for showing the American people the truth. Thank you for being there for President Trump the entire time. And that's exactly why I do this job. It's because I care about this country, I care about President Trump, and I care about the American people. But yeah, today is my last day on air here at Right Side. I'll be behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks as they get transitioned into some wonderful programming coming up. I'm not at the point yet, I'm not at the liberty to tell you where I'm going, but I just know that the American people, President Trump, and obviously speaking the truth is still going to be in the forefront of what I do. So I just want to say thank you to everyone at Right Side for giving this guy from Texas a chance. I'll step aside.
Okay, so that was the big announcement yesterday, and that really caught people really off guard. I got a lot of messages immediately when it happened live. People were DMing me and texting me and everything, and I was waiting to see if something else would come out. Now, there's a lot of things to factor in here. Right Side Broadcasting is not a high-budgeted outfit. Okay, they are on a shoestring budget. It's very expensive to do what they do, and if you've ever seen Right Side at any events, they have a crew with them that's like a network, and it's not easy and it's not cheap. Most of the people that work at Right Side make no money or very little money, and Brian Glenn, he's of course Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend now, and has been for a while. He obviously has probably gotten a better paying job somewhere else. Now, what is that job? Is it working for the Trump organization? Trump loves this guy. You've seen him and Trump together. I'm not sure if his divorce is final, but he got divorced. He's left his wife for Marjorie Taylor Greene, and divorces can break a man. Okay, they really can, and are very expensive. He may be forced to leave Right Side Broadcasting and go work somewhere that actually pays some decent money or more money. He's certainly got a lot more opportunities because Right Side is so big, well known, and famous in the MAGA community. It's Trump approved, and he's got a lot of connections since he's been dating Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm sure. But I would imagine it's a combination of a couple things would be my guess. One, the divorce, very expensive. He's got to pay probably through the nose, right? Because he's the one who was stepping out. So the man always gets the expensive end of a divorce, especially if they've been stepping out like he's been doing. So there's a lot of expense there, so he needs to make some money. And also his contacts through Marjorie Taylor Greene. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, see, this is the thing about Right Side. Right Side, which I know we all love Right Side Broadcasting. We've been watching them since the beginning. But Brian Glenn's connection to Right Side Broadcasting and his involvement in Right Side Broadcasting really is essential to their success. He said he's been there just about 4 years. It seems longer to me. Doesn't seem longer than that. But his connections that he has made, and of course his connection to Marjorie Taylor Greene, has elevated Right Side Broadcasting. It's really become the MAGA news network of record. And President Trump and on Trump Force One, they're watching Right Side Broadcasting on the way into all of the events. But I've had a sense lately, and again, this is just speculation, okay? This is just speculation on my part. I want to be very clear about that, but this is just my professional observations, because I work in the media business. My observations in the last couple of weeks watching Right Side Broadcasting, it seems to me that they've been financially thinning out the operation lately. And when I first, when they go to these locations, they have their huge crew they got to bring in, they got to feed them, they got to put them up, And when Trump they did something that was really strange to me at the New Jersey rally of 100,000 for Trump. At the New Jersey rally, the 100,000 for Trump rally, they didn't have people speaking to the crowd all day. Remember that? I'm sure it's still on their platform. If you go back and watch it, they were showing the crowd and playing music all day, which was a little strange. And I really didn't care for that. I like it when they talk to the crowd. And they did it all day long. And Brian came in a couple of times. I heard him say, a lot of times people tell us they like to see the crowds and not all the interviews. So, and he was talking about how this was something that they might be doing moving forward. And to me, that seemed like a cost-cutting measure that they don't need to have so many roving correspondents in the crowds because they got to fly them in, put them up. Maybe some of them drive themselves there, but they still got to put them up. And there's that extra effort and expense to have these different units over here switching around too. So that seemed like a big cost-cutting measure to me. It didn't seem like something they were just doing because people like to see the crowds. I think most people that watch Right Side Broadcasting enjoy the interviews with the people in line and in the crowd. Don't you guys? That's part of it. It's an all-day thing, right? You know, Right Side also, I've noticed, has been coming on much closer to when Trump's going to speak. Like if Trump, in the past, if Trump was going to speak, they would be there 6 hours, sometimes even more earlier on Right Side, and would be interviewing people for hours and hours all day. And I had noticed in the last few events, over the last month or so, that their live stream is beginning closer to the actual speech as opposed to the all-day thing. So these few things I've seen, and I've taken note of this even before Brian made his announcement that he's leaving Right Side, that they were doing things that seemed to me cost-cutting, budgetary, because they don't have the money. That was my observation. Have you guys noticed any of those things that I've shared? Did you, or maybe you didn't notice, but if you didn't, maybe it rings a bell now. What are your thoughts? You know, do you think it's a budget issue? Okay. Also, you know, obviously the first knee-jerk thing that I think all of us think is, well, he's gone through this divorce. He left his wife for Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's expensive. He's got to get, you know, he's got to take advantage of an opportunity that pays more money because of the ex-wife and all that. Because not only does he have an ex-wife, he's got to make a living himself too. You know, he's got to support himself. You know, he's not like Nathan Wade with a sugar mama, right? With Fannie, you know. So there's the divorce possibility, but there's, yeah, I'm leaning, yeah. Electric Dog says budget, no doubt part of it. I agree. I think they're having financial issues, you know, and a lot of people may say, hey, you know, they're so popular, everyone loves them, but there's a lot of competition for the, you know, in these big conservative outlets, right? You've got the Daily Wire, you know, you've got this, you got Breitbart. There's a lot of competition among these big national level new media conservative platforms. And they're all growing and growing and growing. And what he said at the end, Brian Glenn there, was he says it was his last time on the air for Right Side. And he was going to stay around for a couple weeks off the air while they make a transition into new programming. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Are they changing up what they're doing on Right Side? And what I'm really wondering is, are they, if they're going to continue covering the Trump speeches, are they going to do away with the correspondence and just carry it, you know, like a C-SPAN kind of operation, because of the budget problems, you know? But this would be shocking any day of the week, and we'd be having this discussion no matter what happened. But this announcement was on Saturday, yesterday, which was the day after the media circus over the Marjorie Taylor Greene blow-up with Jasmine Crockett and AOC. Now, that blow-up was on Thursday. You know, that incident was Thursday, but the media discussion really began on Saturday. Right? So, there's got to be... there's got to be some connection between the two. It's hard for me to believe this controversial incident with Marjorie Taylor Greene, which everyone's been talking about, is what everyone was talking about it all day on Friday, and even yesterday, Saturday, the mainstream corporate media finally caught up to it. Extra Dog said they seem to kind of be winging it. Yeah. You know, I haven't been at an event where they've been at for a little while. So I don't know if they've thinned out their operations at the speeches, but just as a viewer, it seems they have to me. But, you know, there's a few things to speculate on here because we don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's obviously got a lot of connections through Marjorie Taylor Greene that he didn't have before. It's very possible he's going to work for President Trump. I've seen him and President Trump together. President Trump seems to like him, but I'm gonna. There's another possibility that I hope is not true. I hope this. What I'm going to share. I hope this is not true. Is it possible? And I'll ask you guys in the chat, and I'm not saying this is true, and pains me to even bring this up as in a discussion. By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Is it possible, over this Mike Johnson speaker issue, that there's been a bit of a falling out with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump lately? What do you guys think? Is that possible? You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene was pushing hard to get rid of Mike Johnson as speaker, and President Trump stood up against that publicly. He told her no publicly. He posted it on Truth, and it was the way he posted it was almost like a reprimand. And then the next thing you know, Mike Johnson showed up at the courthouse with Trump, right, in New York. So, and she's still, Marjorie Taylor. See, I believe that Trump has made an alliance with Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson's problematic. We all know this, but you gotta compromise to get things done. And our majority is very, very slim. And at the time when President Trump came out and told Marjorie Taylor Greene to back off, and it wasn't done privately, it was done, he put it on a True Social post, right? I thought at the time, and I talked about it at the time, you may have heard me say this, that our majority is so slim in the House that President Trump is firming up a relationship with Mike Johnson and supporting him over Marjorie Taylor Greene because we need the House to certify his reelection, right? And a lot of people, I brought that up on the air at the time, and a lot of you agreed with me about that. But Marjorie Taylor Greene's still been very openly anti-Mike Johnson. So is it possible that Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the outs a little bit with Trump right now? She hasn't been to court lately. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I hope that's not true because I love them both, right? Love Trump more though, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of things. Or, of course, the simplest solution is he got a better job offer making some boatloads of money. But there's been a change at right side. So if they're having financial issues at Right Side Broadcasting all of a sudden, through the things I talked about earlier in the stream, and if you're just joining the stream, you missed everything, you can rewind and watch the beginning and watch the whole stream. But Marjorie Taylor, Right Side Broadcasting was around a long time before Brian Glenn and Marjorie Taylor Greene were a couple. But Right Side reached another level through that relationship, okay? If you remember, many times before we knew they were a couple, Marjorie Taylor Greene was traveling around to all these Trump events, and she was basically became a correspondent with Right Side Broadcasting, right? She was like an anchor, co-hosting the show all the time, right, on Right Side during these Trump events. And her popularity and connection, it elevated Right Side. And what I'm wondering is this: is it possible, if they are having some budget issues, is it possible that Marjorie Taylor Greene's opposition and fight against Mike Johnson has gotten some of the Republicans to stop supporting right side broadcasting financially. Is it possible? I hope none of these things are true. I just hope the guy just got a great job working for Trump, and he's going to be traveling around with President Trump. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, elevated Brian Glenn and Right Side big time. All of a sudden, because of her, Brian was flying in on Trump Force One to rallies. They had exclusive interviews with President Trump that they didn't have before, and they had a lot of exclusive access. And that was all because of her, really. They'd been around, and we'd all been watching them, but they got elevated because of her into the Trump orbit. And if she's on the outs a little bit because of Trump having to make deals with Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson, remember, went to court with Trump the other day. It could be a problem. So you let me know what your thoughts are, and I certainly am open to hearing them. Now, should I play the Brian Glenn announcement again? Because everybody was here in the beginning. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I mean, it's a big one. I was going to do a stream last night after the rally, but I wanted to wait. Hey, Luna. My cat Luna is up here on the table with me. Hey, Luna. Hey, what's up? Yes, Luna. Luna loves to be on YouTube. Yeah, see? Absolutely. Just don't step on the keys, Luna. Okay? So let me play, while you're looking at Luna's rump, I will play Brian from Right Side Broadcasting's announcement.
Here in Dallas at NRA is my last day on air with RSBN. And I've got to say, it has been an amazing nearly 4 years of covering some of the most historic political events in our history. Now, from the very beginning, you guys believed in this little network that basically just went around and tried to cover as many rallies as they could. If I'm not mistaken, they covered just about every one of them. But it wasn't for the generosity of our viewers and our supporters. I know it means a lot. And this job is not easy. It comes with a lot of scrutiny. As you can imagine, it comes with a lot of criticism. Not only do people don't like us because we're a conservative news outlet, but then they have other reasons why they don't like you as well. But the positive feedback we get from you, the positive feedback we get in the comment sections does not go unnoticed, and we are very grateful for that. And that's been my personal goal, is I want you to know what's going on. And I can't tell how many people just in the last hour have come up to me off the media riser here and have said, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Thank you for showing the American people the truth. Thank you for being there for President Trump the entire time. And that's exactly why I do this job. It's because I care about this country, I care about President Trump, and I care about the American people. But yeah, today is my last day on air here at Right Side. I'll be behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks as they get transitioned into some wonderful programming coming up. I'm not at the point yet, I'm not at the liberty to tell you where I'm going, but I just know that the American people, President Trump, and obviously speaking the truth is still going to be in the forefront of what I do. So I just want to say thank you to everyone at Right Side for giving this guy from Texas a chance. I'll step aside.
Okay. So, yeah, right, Luna. Let's move over here. Okay. Yeah, I know. Is she cute? She's adorable. Yes, Brian Glenn quit live on the air yesterday. And, one thing he says at the end, too, his last broadcast, he is going to hang around off the air for the next couple of weeks as what did he say? Let's go back and play that again. Hold on, because he said something about, like, some different kind of programming. Let's go back and let me pull up that part. Didn't he say some different kind of programming, something like that? Hold on, let me pull this up and cue that part up again. Let's see here. Okay, let me pull it up.
Take a few minutes for President Trump the entire time.
This is the end.
And that's exactly why I do this job. It's because I care about this country, I care about President Trump, and I care about the American people. But yeah, today is my last day on air here at Right Side. I'll be behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks as they get transitioned into some wonderful programming.
As they get transitioned into some wonderful programming coming up. That's what he said. As they transition, Right Side transitions into some wonderful programming coming up. So that sounds like a, does that sound like a format change? Luna's got her hair all over my MacBook. Let me see what they have listed as upcoming. They have the Libertarian Convention listed coming up. That's the only thing that I see listed coming up soon. No, I'm not trashing. No, I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everything we're talking about here is speculation. We don't know. But something is, something's up here. And when he says transition to some new type of programming, you know, Right Side Broadcasting, throughout their whole existence, has had all kinds of things on there other than the Trump speeches and rallies, but I don't watch any of it. Right? I only watch the Trump events on there. What about you guys? And if you look, they don't get very many views on their non-Trump speeches. So if they're changing formats, that's not good. You know, there have been so many over the years media platforms that had our back, and then we've lost them. I mean, years ago in the 90s, the first one was Drudge Report. You know, the Drudge Report, you wonder if they were bought out. You never know. Or new management comes in, Susan, because remember, Brian isn't just a host over there. He's like the program director, or he has a title like that. So, you know, people forget, you know, the Drudge Report in the 90s was the place to go for news. You know, the internet was new, but it was. And then look what's happened. You know, it's become a liberal place, which it's become, the Drudge Report has become what it was against. You know, I saw somebody mention Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter was a great conservative voice, and then during Trump's first campaign, she became a never Trumper. You know, and she's useless to us now. I don't pay attention to anything she has to say anymore, and I haven't in years. So, you know, Breitbart during the days of Andrew Breitbart, that was amazing. They, you know, and then he died, and Bannon was out of there, and it's still good, Breitbart, but it's not what it used to be. So there's a history of people and outfits that have been important resources for us, like Drudge and Breitbart, that things have happened, and they've gone another direction. I hope that is not the case with Right Side Broadcasting. Right Side Broadcasting is vital. Without Right Side Broadcasting, see, a lot of people say, I saw somebody say a minute ago in the chat, Real America's Voice covers the Trump speeches. But not many people get that. Not many people see that. You know, Right Side has been around for years now, and they are seen by millions of people. And these other outlets, not many people see them. Not many people know about them. They're difficult to see. They're difficult to get to, you know. So Right Side is accessible to everyone, and it's become a habit. So when he talks about some new type of programming at the end there, Brian, that really... See, I didn't do this last night. I was going to do this stream last night, and I said, let me wait until the morning to see if anything comes out new, and no one has. And even if you go through Twitter, X, nothing really new. So that's that. It's, you know, let me know in the comments what you think. Are there some other scenarios I haven't considered? Do you agree or disagree with what I've said? What are you What are you thinking? I do know that if you type in Brian Glenn on Twitter, people say terrible things about him and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. I love Brian Glenn. No, we don't know that Right Side Broadcasting's been sold. No, we don't know. Everything we're talking about here is speculation. All we know for a fact is that Brian Glenn quit Right Side Broadcasting. You know, one thing I was curious about is how much notice was given. You know, Mediaite has this story, and they call it a shock announcement. This is Mediaite. Brian Glenn, program director for the Right Side Broadcasting Network, made a shock announcement Saturday that he's leaving the network. Glenn, who was the boyfriend of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, made the announcement at Saturday's NRA convention where RSBN is covering Donald Trump's speech. Glenn opened the show with the news saying, "I'm not at the liberty yet to tell you where I'm going, but just know that the American people, Trump, and speaking the truth is still going to be at the forefront of what I do." According to Midas Touch Network, they, whoever, I've never heard of them before, but they have a statement. Brian Glenn has been a mainstay at the network that covers all the Trump rallies and events, and made a name for himself with crowd interviews and events, and for his access to Trump with brief behind-the-scenes interviews. The online network has been the primary source for MAGA people to watch Trump rallies, which are no longer covered wall-to-wall by networks like they were in 2016. Marjorie Taylor Greene made news this week for her dust-up with Jasmine Crockett, and it goes on. You know, see, to me, the timing of this thing with Jasmine Crockett and AOC, it just seems too I don't believe in coincidences. I was talking about Mikey Hastings. I was talking about that at the beginning of the stream. That they didn't have the correspondence, that they showed the crowd all day and were playing music, which was a big format change. And I talked about that at the time, that to me looked like a budget thing. They didn't want to pay to have all the correspondence there, you know. Have any of you seen Right Side at an event? I mean, it's like a news network. They have a lot of people. They have a bus. They come in on a big full-size bus, you know, the kind that a concert, you know, band would have, and they got a lot of equipment and a lot of people. Glenn will be a distant memory in a few days, says Mary. I hope not. And I really hope Marjorie Taylor Greene is not on the outs with Trump. No, I think she handled herself well in that hearing. I enjoyed that. Mike Johnson immediately condemned Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, you know, and Mike Johnson has made some type of agreement with Trump. So, you know, I told you guys at the beginning of this new campaign that, you know, this election, you know this election is the most important election since Abraham Lincoln's elections, both of Abraham Lincoln's elections. This election is as transformational as Abraham Lincoln's. It really is, because if we don't have Trump back in the White House in January, these lunatics at Columbia University, those types, they're going to be running our country. And this border invasion that we're seeing now is just the beginning. It'll be bigger and faster if Trump's not reelected. This is important. I mean, this election is about the future of this country and Western civilization. Will Western civilization and America as we know it exist, is the question of this election. Okay? And I said at the beginning of the campaign, this election of President Trump is so important. He is going to make deals and alliances and bring people into the fold that I don't like and you don't like. But we got to suck it up. Because if Trump says they're okay with me. We've got it. This election is too important to get caught up in personalities and personal egos and things like this. And, and President Trump has formed an alliance of some kind with Mike Johnson. Okay, so we've got to back that. And if Marjorie Taylor Greene is not on board with that, which she may not be on board with that, she'll be out. And remember, Mike Johnson went to court with Trump this last week. No, that was a statement. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And, if you'd like to support my content, of course, a great way to do that is to go to mypillow.com, use my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and do some shopping. I mean, Father's Day is coming up. William, $5 super chat, thank you. Right Side Broadcasting would be just another news organization if they changed their format to be watered down. Absolutely, William, you are right about that. Now, Father's Day is right around the corner. There's not a dad in America, especially a MAGA dad, that does not want these great, great gifts that you can get him at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. The $25 extravaganza continues. Top MyPillow products you can get for just $25 with my promo code Kane at checkout. Free shipping on all orders over $75 site-wide. The MyPillow coffee, 50% off with my promo code Kane. The MyPillow 2.0, buy one, get one free. The MyPillow mattress topper, 50% off with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. The MyPillow sandals, slides, and slippers as low as $25 with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. There's so many deals. You can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And of course, when you do that, you're supporting my content, my channel, my podcast, the radio show, the YouTube channel, and everything when you do that. So it is very much appreciated. Promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. So it is very, very possible that Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the outs with Trump. I mean, that's a possibility that we have to wrap our heads around. It is very, very possible. And I hope it's not true, okay? I really hope it's not true. I hope we find out soon that Brian Glenn is working for President Trump and has joined the campaign. That would be the best, wouldn't it? Isn't that what you'd like to see? Absolutely. Now, I do have a new podcast will be dropping tonight at 7 p.m. here on the YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that. And there'll be a live chat in tonight's podcast. We'll be talking about Barron's graduation and a whole bunch more. Now, I know it's tough. I don't like this it's one of the reasons I was so pissed off at Ron DeSantis for running against Trump in the primary. We don't need MAGA divided. We need MAGA united. Joy says, I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the outs with Trump. I think that Glenn has a better job. Well, what I was talking about earlier, Joy, I hope that's true. We're going to find out soon. That's what I want to be true. I hope but Mike Johnson you got to ask yourself this. It's not, is Marjorie Taylor Greene on the outs with Trump? Is Marjorie Taylor Greene on the outs with Mike Johnson? And the answer to that is yes. Okay? The answer to that is yes. Mike Johnson's got to be plenty pissed at Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? No, Brian Glenn didn't seem excited. And, I was telling my wife last night, I said, because we were saying, well, maybe he's going to go work. Everybody's immediate reaction, oh, he's going to work for Trump. And I hope that's true. That's what I'd love to find out, that he's working with Trump, But it seems to me that if he had some gig like that set up, he'd be a lot more oh, man, just you wait. I'm going to have a big announcement coming soon, and I'm going to be doing some things that are absolutely amazing. The announcements will be, I can't tell you now. I'm not at liberty to tell you now, but something big's come. It wasn't that. Right? It wasn't that. Didn't sound good. Didn't sound good. He didn't sound happy with it. you know. And we really need Right Side in its current format to continue doing what it is that they are doing. You know, it's not just, oh, I'm not a pillow pusher. I'm a promoter of My Pillow. You know, all these products I talk about at My Pillow, by the way, I use myself, and I have bought them all. Okay, I've bought them all. With the promo code Kane, except the first one, because I didn't have them as a sponsor when I got my first My Pillow, so I paid full price for that. But everything else I bought with promo code Kane at checkout. If he was doing a move to go work for Trump or something, you would think he'd be more excited than that. Okay, but Right Side has to be more than just showing the speeches. Okay, showing the speeches is important, but that interviewing with the crowd, the people in line, and everything, that's a big part of it. A lot of people. I mean, I've been to countless Trump rallies and speeches. I mean, I couldn't, if I tried to make a list of all the times I've been with President Trump in person or been to a rally or a speech, it'd be hard for me. I've been so many times, and some of you have too, but not everybody has or can. Okay, and what Right Side does by having their people in the crowd, interviewing people in line, in the parking lots, and everything else, it's a rally at home. It's like you are part of the rally at home. Just to have a camera on Trump with, you know, and like that thing they did in New Jersey where they didn't have anyone interviewing people in the crowd. They were just showing people and playing music all day. That doesn't give you the pep rally sense at home, okay, that, you know, if you're just watching the speech, it's like watching C-SPAN, you know, and that's not the same thing. Those interviews, the group, the correspondence, the anchors on Right Side, it's a pep rally experience. They bring the Trump rally into your home or wherever you are, because not everybody's watching. I have it on my TV in the living room. You know, when Right Side's at an event, I have it on every TV in the house on YouTube. Right? Don't you guys? I do. You know, and it's like being at a rally. You know, and you know, like my wife, she can't go to a Trump rally. She's not physically capable of going to a Trump rally, and millions of people are not able to go for all kinds of reasons. Going to a Trump rally is not something everybody can do, and having that, but having a rally at home or wherever you are with the format of Right Side broadcasting is an important component of Trump's success. And when we have something that's going so well, here we are a few months away from the election, we don't want Right Side broadcasting to all of a sudden change their format and become like C-SPAN. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, the programming and the format at Right Side broadcasting is very, very important. And it you know, I really hope that Brian's going to go work for Trump. I really do. But we don't know because he didn't tell us, and he didn't seem very excited about whatever he's going to be doing. But you know, you don't want it. Right Side broadcasting. I mean, if it weren't for Right Side broadcasting and their current format that they've been doing these many years, what percentage of Trump speeches would people see? Like right now, we see 100% of Trump speeches, no matter what it is. He could be talking to a golf club. He could be, you know, to a small group at a golf club. It's on Right Side. Right now, we watch 100%. And when Right Side comes on, and even yesterday, I was talking about these budget things that I've noticed. Okay, Right Side used to come on 6 hours or more before Trump came out. Now they're not. They've been coming out much closer to when he's scheduled to speak. And they've been doing this a lot the last few weeks. The last few weeks, there's been a change at Right Side, right? Mike Nificent and Liz Willis. I love them both. You know, Liz Willis is who got me that $24,000 autographed MAGA hat, of the autograph by the president, Liz Willis. So I know Liz Willis and Mike Nificent. I know Mike Nificent better. You know, when I was at Mar-a-Lago, I was sitting next to Liz Willis. And she's pretty cool, you know. But, yeah, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. You'll love my content. Most of the time when I live stream, I take live calls. I'm not doing that now, but most of the time I do. Now, I wouldn't say they've changed sides. And this is what I was talking about earlier, okay? The biggest difference that I saw at Right Side Broadcasting was at the New Jersey rally of 100,000. They didn't have any correspondence. And in fact, Brian wasn't even talking all day, not until towards when Trump came out. And they had a steady camera on the stage with music playing all day. And Brian Glenn talked about it. He said, how do you guys like this new format where we just, you know, a lot of people tell us that we like the crowd, that they like watching the crowd and not all the interviews, you know. And they play that royalty-free music all day. I think they're having money problems, absolutely. So the question is, if they are, again, this is all speculation. None of us know, but we do know that Brian Glenn's leaving, and we know that he's not happy about it, okay? If he was leaving to work for Trump, he'd be much more excited than he was. But this is, so I was started to get into this earlier. The question isn't whether or not Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the outs with Trump. The question is Marjorie Taylor Greene on the outs with Mike Johnson? And that's obviously yes, right? Mike Johnson does not like her. He'd like her to be gone from Congress probably, right? I mean, she keeps trying to throw him out of the speakership, so there's no way he's not pissed off at her. Trump has made a deal and formed an alliance with Mike Johnson. That's why Mike Johnson went to court with him and spoke and had a press conference. So if they're having money problems at Right Side Broadcasting, and I think watching the recent weeks of programming, like what I told you about the New Jersey rally of 100,000, there's been some budget issues there. There's no doubt about it, okay? If they are having budget problems, is it because of Mike Johnson? Have they been cut off by some of the people that have been funding them, okay, because Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the outs with Mike Johnson? And, you know, and I hope that's not true. Right Side Broadcasting is, in my opinion, the most important media outlet that we have in the MAGA movement, because we have access to 100% of Trump's speeches, rallies, and events. 100%. Without Right Side, you're not going to get that. No one is going to carry everything in its entirety, uninterrupted. No one. But Newsmax, none of them are going to do it. And Newsmax and Real America's Voice are good, but they're not accessible to everyone. There's a paywall now with the Newsmax app, and not everybody has Newsmax. There's no paywall for Right Side. Okay, so this is important. So if these things, which I hope are true, is it possible? Because what he said at the end, let me rewind. I'll play this at the end. What he said at the end was about programming changes. Let me rewind it here. This is Brian Glenn's announcement about leaving yesterday at the NRA convention.
Hey, thanks for doing what you do. Thank you for showing the American people the truth. Thank you for being there for President Trump the entire time. And that's exactly why I do this job. It's because I care about this country, I care about President Trump, and I care about the American people. But yeah, today is my last day on air here at Right Side. I'll be behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks as they get transitioned into some wonderful programming coming.
As they get transitioned into some wonderful programming. What the hell does that mean?
Behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks as they get transitioned into some wonderful programming coming up.
What does that mean? Who wants new programming at Right Side? We want Right Side to do what they are doing now. Wonderful programming? Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Well, that, you know, he didn't say format, but he said program.
As they get transitioned into some wonderful programming coming up. I'm not at the point yet, I'm not at the liberty to tell you where I'm going, but I just know that the American people, President Trump, and obviously speaking the truth is still going to be in the forefront of what I do. So I just want to say thank you to everyone at Right Side for giving this guy from Texas a chance.
Okay, so that's not exciting. That's not like, oh man, I can't tell you. I'm not at liberty to say right now, but I got this thing coming up, and oh boy, I'll be doing something else. You're going to be excited. I'm going to be, you know, doing what I'm doing, supporting Trump, and I can't tell you now. So keep an eye. It wasn't that. And what's this thing about transitioning to new programming? What is that all about? I don't want, you know, if we lose Right Side, that's a big hit. If we lose them in their current format. I mean, the Drudge Report still exists, but it's not like it was in the 90s. You know, I mean, look at Drudge right now. Here's the headline on Drudge. It's a picture of Trump, and it's in red, afraid to take the stand with a question mark. Are you freaking kidding me? It's become this liberal, anti-MAGA, anti-Trump platform that I don't know who the hell's running it or who owns it. People have been saying for years that they think someone's bought the Drudge Report. We don't know. We've never, all years, the Drudge Report used to be the conservative news source of record. Now, it hasn't been for a long time, but it was at one time. And then all of a sudden, it became this lefty place. And no one has been able to get to the bottom of what's happened for years. So let's pray that that is not what's going on at Right Side. You know, if that's what's going on at Right Side, I mean, that would suck. And would suck. Yeah, that's me. I pulled up my feed. But Right Side, I believe, owes us an explanation. Let me go to their Twitter. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. Let's see. Because, I mean, this was all over Twitter last night. Let me look up their Twitter. Their last post is President Trump's speech last night, 12 hours ago, with clips. Let me go through yesterday to see if there's any comment on... I don't see any comment on RSBN's Twitter about Brian leaving. Do you? No, nothing. Nothing. They've got all the clips of Trump. Greg Abbott's speech. Let me keep going. Let me go down so we can see. No, I see nothing. No announcement from Right Side Broadcasting on their Twitter. I think they owe it to us. Nothing. Let me go to their website. Nothing on their website either. Nothing on their website. Nothing on their Twitter. Let me see. No, nothing. Nothing. Well, none of that is good. None of that is good at all. It's just not good. I'm sorry. I'm not happy about it. Let's hope everything's fine. You know, I mean, you know, things are going so well right now with the campaign, and with this isn't me. This is Brian Glenn transitioning to new type of programming. We do not want any new type of programming on Right Side Broadcasting. We just don't. Not now. Not till after the election. You know, if there are problems at Right Side, if there are, let's hope there's not. But if there's, did Brian Glenn sound like happy? No. If there is a problem at Right Side, it's because of Marjorie Taylor Greene's issues with Mike Johnson. That's it. You know, that'd be the reason. You know, I tell you, let's hope it's not true, but it should be a lesson. You know, because Marjorie Taylor Greene and Brian Glenn were both married, and they started seeing each other, and then they leave their spouses, and that's not good. And then this has happened. So it's not good. Not good. I mean, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. And I, you know what? I know you guys are not either, are you? No. A change in format is not what we want. It's not what we want. Mm-mm. It's not what we want at all. You're worried about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Johnson's probably working with the Uniparty to oust her. Yeah, he probably is. I mean, you know, can you blame him? What's he supposed to do? You know, I mean, I mean, Trump has said to lay off of him, so we've got to do it. You always got to do what Trump says to do, always. Okay, never go against Trump, because Trump knows more about what's going on than we know. Okay, and that's why you've got to side with him each and every time. Well, Trump said that we need to show party unity, and he backed Johnson. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to do what Donald Trump said to do. That's it. Mm-hmm. Mike Johnson's holding. Mike Johnson's important. You know, listen, we have like a 1-seat majority. The House still has to certify Trump's reelection. And if we don't have strong people standing up for Trump, okay, in the House, these Democrats and these rhinos can say, hey, you know, he's an insurrectionist. He led an insurrection against this very body and refuse to certify. That's a problem. That could be a problem. You know, and that's just something we got to deal with. He does, yeah. You know, and I'll tell you another thing I've known, because we're talking about budget issues with Right Side, and I gave some examples. Here's another one. Okay? Here's another one. Right Side hasn't been in court for a while. They went to the court in New York in the beginning, but they stopped going. Why did they stop doing that? And I noticed it right away. Didn't you guys notice? And I started wondering about budget issues then. welcome everyone. If you're just joining the stream, rewind to the beginning, and I break down everything we're talking about. But Brian Glenn announced at the NRA convention that he's leaving Right Side, and he didn't seem happy about it. Well, listen, in politics, anything can change. And, but there's no doubt about it is President Trump is working with Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson hates Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's a fact. That's just a fact. Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. I got a podcast that'll be dropping here on YouTube tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, and there will be a live chat in the podcast, so don't miss that. And we're going to cover some very important topics. I'm very surprised that Right Side Broadcasting has not made a statement on their website or Twitter about Brian Glenn leaving, because everyone's talking about it on Twitter. If you put Brian Glenn on, and it's in the news too, you type him in on Twitter, and everyone's talking about it. Breaking, in a surprise move, Marge Greene's boyfriend, the program director of the right-wing Right Side Broadcasting, Brian Glenn, announced he's leaving the network, and today is his last day. And it's I mean, this is what's going on, and there's endless tweets about it, and a lot of it's very negative because a lot of these people on Twitter don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're saying all kinds of terrible things. Here's another one. It's just people just posting about it. It's and to say that that there's no coincidence. There's got to be more than a coincidence that this blow up with Marjorie Taylor Greene happened this week. In this, there's got to be something to it. Well, I love and support Marjorie Taylor Greene, but sometimes you got to bite your tongue. I mean, life sadly is compromises. I mean, if that's unfortunately you can't get everything you want all of the time. You got to try to compromise and get as much of what you want as possible, right? Exactly. So, Donald Trump has made some compromise deal with Mike Johnson. So I'm always going to stand with Trump no matter what Trump does, no matter who he brings into the fold. And there are people around Trump that I'm not crazy about, that he's brought in lately, but I don't care. I'm with Trump, and I'm always going to side with him. She has zero decorum, unbecoming. I don't know. She's, have any of you met her? She's very ladylike in person. She's a complete, perfect lady in person. If you've ever met her or had a conversation with her or been in private with her, I've met her a couple times, and, what she does at these committee hearings is just push buttons. But she's made enemies with Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson has made an alliance with Trump. So, she's got to suck that up. Meatball says he hasn't made any deals with Mike Johnson. Well, that's just not true. Mike Johnson was at court with Trump, had a press conference the other day. He obviously has. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene was making the motion to vacate Mike Johnson, President Trump came out very publicly and told her to cool it off. So no, that is just that is not the case. Meatball, Magoo, you are wrong about that. Johnson will not let you down. He's always defended Trump. Well, he's defending him now. And if Donald Trump says to lay off Mike Johnson, I'm laying off Mike Johnson. there's no benefit to the uniparty Speaker Johnson. Slick Pickle, then you know better than Trump, right? I mean, you think you know better than Trump? Trump said lay off, that we need to have party unity. He says President Trump said that we need party unity, that if we don't, it looks like chaos. And we want an image of unity, not chaos. And it was more than symbolic that Johnson went to court with Trump in the red tie like everybody else. Nope, Trump says he's all right. Shawna, I'm not saying, I got problems with it. A lot of these people Trump's brought in, I got issues with. I'm still suspect of Vivek Ramaswamy, but Trump says they're okay. So that's all I need. Okay, I gotta send someone a text. Hold on. I'm meeting Steve Kane today. We're going to record some commercials. So I'm meeting Steve and we're going to record commercials. I'm not sure where we're meeting, though. I'm bringing a portable recorder and we're meeting somewhere later this morning. Trump knows a lot that we don't know, Shawna. He knows so much. And like Vivek Ramaswamy, as an example. Donald Trump knows, great. Perfect. Okay. I'm texting with Steve. We're just firming up where. Got the time? Yep. Perfect. Donald Trump has to work with whoever is in power. That is true. Yeah, so what Trump knows about Vivek Ramaswamy is he's very popular with young people and that he could turn out a lot of young people to vote. And he needs that. So, so he's made a deal. So that's just what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Vivek is Benny Johnson's clickbait. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree, Really? Why don't you like Benny Johnson? I don't watch Benny Johnson too much. I don't watch a lot of other people because I don't want their opinions to infect me or drive what I do, and I don't want to feel like I should talk about this or that because somebody else is. So I don't watch a lot of people. On occasion, I'll watch Benny Johnson if it pops up on my feed on YouTube, but I don't watch much of it. Anybody, including him. Second term will be the storm. Absolutely. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. And if you're already subbed, like the video. Yeah, a lot of people say that Benny Johnson uses clickbait, but, he's got a wife and 2 kids. He's got, he's got a lot of overhead. So if he's got to use some clickbait to get views. He's got a lot of mouths to feed. Three kids. Oh, 2 kids. I thought it was. See, that's how much I watch him. He has 3 kids. Yeah. So under 6. Oh my gosh, that's so expensive, and it gets more expensive every year. Really? Not all YouTubers are clickbait. No. Headlines are not necessarily clickbait. You know what I mean? Clickbait is when you have some shocking thumbnail or title that has nothing to do with what you're going to talk about. A compelling headline is not clickbait, right? Like the New York Post is famous for their headlines. It's not clickbait. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about Brian Glenn leaving Right Side Broadcasting. The things I brought up, do you think that is what is going on? You know? Is that what's going on? You know, is there a problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene in the Trump camp? Are they having budget issues? I really hope he's going to go do something big for Trump. I would love him to be like the Trump campaign correspondent, Brian Glenn. I think he does a very good job. You know. Well, guys, listen. I got to run because I gotta go meet Steve Kane this morning. I'm going to record some commercials, and I got a new podcast tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, dropping right here on the channel. So I'll see you then.